Hi, Mike Ambrodella here for YaleBulldogs.com, joined by Eli's head football coach, Tony Reno. Coach, thanks for taking the time here.
Great being with you.
Appreciate it. Talking your team leading into the 2019 season, 2018, a little bit of an injury-plagued year, but what can you take away from that heading into the season that kicks off in just a couple weeks here?
You know, Mike, we had a step back from the championship team we had in 17, and we started off well. We lost our quarterback, as you mentioned, in week 6. Griffin O'Connor came in and really played a great last 3 games for us as a rookie, but it definitely looking for something to build on going into the 19 season. We had a lot of bright spots as the season wore on. We were very young on defense, which really caught up to us at the end of the year. But in retrospect, we had a lot of guys get playing experience, which really showed the spring and the hoping to catapult us in the fall.
Now, Coach, Team 147 for the Yale Bulldogs. What can fans expect from the preseason Ivy League #1 in 2019?
Well, I think when you look at us coming back, we feel like we've got a great senior class. You know, very few times in this league have I been associated with a team that has 30 guys who are all going to play. So, you know, all of our seniors are going to factor into our game, offense, defensively, in the kick game. We've got some depth in the front groups on the offensive and defensive line. I think we've got some depth at a lot of the key positions, and you know, the key will be for us is, you know, do we have what it takes to be an elite team? And that's a challenge, you know, from this point forward. Is, you know, we feel we've got some good players, but you know, everybody has good players. You know, can we move ourselves to be an elite football team?
Talk about truly being elite. You have the senior leadership, you have depth, but what would you say is the biggest strength of this team?
I would say at quarterback position. You know, obviously when you get a guy who's been 15-5 as a starter, and you know, we got an Ivy championship under his belt, that's a key. Two veteran offensive linemen who've started for 4 years for us is huge, and then we've got a very veteran defensive line.
Now, talking a little bit about those strengths, we'll go offense, defense side of the ball, picking a player to highlight who you think will be kind of the lead guy on both sides of the ball for you this year.
Outside of Kurt Rawlings on offense, I would have to say, you know, it would have to be, you know, Dieter Eisel, Sterling Struther on the offensive line. Those two guys, as we go, you know, it's going to be strictly behind those two guys, and then those two players really catapulting our offensive line to where it needs to be. On the perimeter, you know, Reed Klubnik and JP Shofi, two guys who, you know, it's really hard to say one name without the other for what they've done over the last 3 years for us. Both have been incredible players in the league, but definitely guys to highlight.
And how about on the defensive side of the ball, Coach?
Defensively, I think when you look at the front, we'll play, you know, 9 to 11 guys in our defensive front, so it's really hard to pick one guy in that group. At the linebacker position, you know, we'll rotate, you know, the same amount, and then we'll play a lot of guys in the secondary. But I think the kingpin of the defense is Spencer Mathai, our defensive tackle. He's played, you know, he's another guy who's been playing for 3 years for us. He's made a lot of key plays for us. He's been very dependable. He grades out very high every week, and he's an inspirational leader for the defense.
And Coach, less than a month here before kickoff, 10 straight games getting into it. Are there certain ones that you've circled on the schedule this year for the Bulldogs coming into the year?
You know, obviously in a league like ours where you play 10 games and you play for an Ivy League championship, every Ivy game is as important as the other because of what you're playing for. So all of those games are circled, you know, year in and year out for us, and we've got three great out-of-league opponents. You know, Holy Cross is an incredible team, and you know, Fordham is another team too, which we know real well. They'll come in here with a very good offense and defensive plan, and then we got to go down and probably play our toughest opponent we've played at Richmond. So, you know, it's really hard to circle one, but I think obviously the Ivy games are the ones that we think about year round.
Definitely. Well, Coach, best of luck this season. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
And good luck out in the field in just under a month.